It's August 19th here. We're finally getting around to cutting our third crop. We're about 2 weeks behind this year. Usually we'll do it the first week. But we've been 2 weeks behind the first two cuttings. Now we're a little bit early here. I think we're only cutting this about 3 weeks apart. It looks nice here, but you get up on the side hills and it's just pathetic. Typically we'll break this up and do 3 days of chopping. So we got 80 acres there, which is north and south rows. We got a 70 acre piece here, which is 3/4 mile long rows. And then we got another 70 acres between here and the trees that we'll cut. So this is the back side of the hill to the west. Kind of this whole valley here. There's a lot of rock ledge over the hill and all the way to the South Dakota state line. It's not real prime ground. That little brown spot right there, that's bare bedrock showing. So that just kind of describes what it's like here. That pasture, the neighbors, a lot of that's down to bedrock. So that rock you're seeing there, that's bedrock there. We got a couple other fields that we got bedrock showing on. This pasture here between this field and the cornfield, that whole draw runs up, it's just pure bedrock. So I think I'll catch up this video tomorrow, try and get a little bit of clips of the merger running. I think I'll be in the chopper. So we're going on here on chop day. We got one brother on the merger. This is such a light crop that we're putting 5 rows together into one. So everything from up there to there is in this swath. Typically we'll just do 3. Kind of hard for the merger to do 5 unless it is pretty light, which it is, but some spots there's nothing. Other spots it's 80% of what it usually is. I got a camera system. The left one will show my hitch, so you run all quick hitches on the wagons. That way you don't have to get in and out all the time for hitch pins. On the right, just shows behind the cab. Waiting on wagons. Pretty well cut up to the merger, so he quit doing 3 rows in one, or 5 in one. Now he's just doing 3 in one, so instead of him having to make 2 rounds for every pass I make, now every round he makes is 1 pass for me. Speeds him up a little bit, and we're almost done. We got 14 loads off this 80 acre piece, so. Well, there goes the merger. He's got something wrong with his pickup. He shut it down to switch fields, and now something's binding or locking up, so he's running home to go tear into that and get that straightened out. But I've all but caught up to him. So when I start this next field, we have a lot of idle time driving. Finished up that 80 acre piece. Now we're starting on probably half of this 70 acre piece. And we're only at 15 loads. The merger broke down, so I'm stuck cutting every one of these little passes. The chopper can handle it at about 15 miles an hour for capacity, but the head won't do it. Best thing about driving the chopper, I got my own refrigerator. Nice cold Mountain Dew. So since about where my finger is there, which would be the half-mile mark, I've got like 3 loads. That's just how poor it is. There's no rain for the last month, being on close to bedrock dirt. We're all done for today. We're doing the machinery shuffle, or vehicles. And when you got no AC and your windows don't work, you improvise. OSHA approved, right? So we're here back by the pile. This here is 20 loads. He's got the last load dumped here. I'm guessing the brother will come back and push it on the pile with the 4-wheel drive. Well, here's a little bonus action of cutting hay. We got a waterway down here south of the dairy, and for stupid regulations, we have to have a buffer strip here. And Grandpa, 2 out of 4 cuttings a year, he'll forget to cut it. So I went and grabbed the mower and I'm cutting now. And these tire tracks through here, you may think, well, you had somebody teenage just driving through your hayfield. Well, that wasn't actually a teenager, that was a county deputy. About 3-4 weeks ago, we had a manhunt actually. He ditched his pickup in front of that windmill, ran through our cornfield, through the waterway, and up to our second cornfield, and then headed west. I don't think they ever ended up catching him, but the deputies are out driving up and down the waterway here. And if you may ask, why do I think these buffer strips are dumb? So we have to have it right here. But the next farmer over does not have to have it because this meets up with the ditch. Yeah, tell me how this is going to cause erosion and leaching of nutrients, yet the neighbors won't. This will probably be some of the best hay we cut this cutting. The only reason is because right next to the waterway, and this is a whole lot better soil than what our other hay fields are. Here I'm actually getting up to about the top of the deck where the leaves will roll over on that top ½ an inch. The rest of the stuff didn't even come close to rolling over. So I got done cutting the buffer strip. Figured I'd say kind of what our troubles were with the merger. So this is a 2320 John Deere swather. And then we mounted this New Holland pickup head on the, what would be your right side here. So our troubles, this here, the end of your pickup teeth right on it. So when it's riding around here, it's fully extended. But when it gets to the back, it gets oblong and it comes straight down here. It's not the full circumference. That turns your pitch or your teeth. When it gets to the back here, the teeth get bent down. So that groove is wearing out like that. It's busting through. We re-welded from about here all the way down this last cutting. So that was one thing that broke. So this is that little roller that ride in there. Another thing that was going bad, you can just see how worn that is. For instance, that one there completely wore halfway through. So there's just getting to be a lot of slop in there. Just in case you're wondering how this is ran, so this hydraulic pump here would be what is your reel. So we robbed that off the end and plumbed it in here. I took the chain off, obviously, and that just runs it. You can adjust the speed from the cab. We've ran this machine for, I think, probably like 15 years like this. So maybe get another 10 out of it. We're back here at chopping on day 2 now. Our merger broke down yesterday. So one of my brother's old high school friends that has a dairy just 5 miles down the road or so. And they weren't doing any merging today. So they got their grandpa out running their merger to help us out here. Just speed it up, that way I have to cover 1/3 of the ground. But there ain't a lot out here. Where all this grass is, you're lucky if there's 2 feet of soil down to bedrock. Just not much. Getting on to the long rows. For this field, there's kind of a ridge that divides it. And this to the east side of the ridge is pretty good. A lot of this ends up draining into a marsh. Where the west side of the slope has a lot of bedrock, and that's a lot poorer. So I got probably a 60% of what my usual Ren row should be. Might just make 35 loads this cutting. And just as I start recording off, the metal detector goes off. I gotta back up and unwind everything. So we're nearly at the end here of chopping. We just got this buffer strip here. This is what I had cut last night. That's our friend's merger that's helping us out here. We just got the south side, the waterway left. He'll head there while I finish chopping this. It's a pretty interesting machine. I wish I'd be around it to get video clips, but I'm stuck driving the chopper here, so I can't really do that. This is what I intuited last night when I was recording. So both sides here of the waterway have a buffer strip. But here, it meets up with the road ditch, so it is no longer considered a waterway. Explain that to me. So this guy here don't have to have a buffer strip, but we do. Completely dumb to me, but you know, politics, it never makes sense to start with. Hard to believe a month from now, this corn here will be really drying down. We'll be going through to start chopping. See, our corn silage pile is getting mighty small, but it's only gonna make it another month. Beginning of the year, we were really concerned that we wouldn't have enough silage on hand, so we've been feeding a lot of corn gluten. So if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and God bless. See you next time.